Okay. Let's dissolve our boundaries and enter the void. So, if we close our eyes, let's just start by being aware of ourselves. Being aware that I am here, or I am. Being aware that we are aware of ourselves. And now in that awareness, in that content, we bring our awareness to a part of this physical body. Any part that stands out. We start with just one part, not too big. So a hand, a foot, a leg, an arm. So once we've got that part, just bring as much attention as possible to that sensation. And feel it being there. And just sit there with that sensation, with as much awareness as possible. And notice that it appears in this space, this seeming space. And when we have our eyes closed, the space consists of, there's no image, so there's no distance, just sensation. And sound. Now focusing on that body part, begin to become aware of, do we have a mental image or an idea or a picture of the shape of this? Do we have a mental idea or image of the distance between our point of perception and this part of the body? Drop all that, just focus on, without thought, just the sensation, just the feeling. And then we can ask, what is the feeling made of? What is it made of? Does it have a boundary? Does it have a shape? Does it have a size? If we focus just on the sensation, without the idea of dimensions, without the idea of shape or size or and so on, just that sensation. Keep our attention on that sensation as much as possible. And anytime a framing comes up, anytime an idea of What does this look like? Any shape or colour, or just drop it. Bring your attention back to just the sensation as is. And notice that the sensation has no dimensions, it has no size, has no shape. Has no colour. There's no inherent structure. And notice that the sensation doesn't appear relative to the size of the room that we're in, or in proportion to anything else. And know that that sensation is the entire universe. It's an expression of the universe. Now we'll do an experiment. So that body part, the part of the body that we've chosen, notice how it loses all dimensions, it loses all shape, it loses all structure or proportions when we focus on just the sensation. Now we're going to move the body part. Whilst you do that, open the eyes and look at it. And observe if these structures snap back into place. Okay, let's do that now. So when we bring the visual field into it, to those structures, there's that idea of shape, proportion. Does that snap the experience back into this framing? Or is there a continuation of that loss of boundaries, even in the visual perception, even when we bring the visual field back into it? So we can see how these mind-made boundaries actually function. We can observe them working. And then we can see how reality is presented to us through these created boundaries, these created structures of the mind. Now let's go back in. And we'll apply the same with closed eyes, to our entire being, our entire body. Be aware if you're projecting anything onto your experience, be it looking at yourself from the third person point of view, or be it looking at your body from this point in the head up here. Be aware of one of the sensations in the whole body. All as one. No mental images, no interpretations. no ideas of forming boundaries based on thought or memory or knowledge. Keep bringing yourself back to the sensations with as much awareness as possible. Just the sensations. And by observing, see what it is. What are these sensations? What is this? What is the nature of this being here? As our boundaries start to dissolve, so this sensation that we're experiencing, this sensation, whatever it is, feeling it as acutely as possible. Now we're going to incorporate the sensation of sound into this one body of sensation as the same thing. The sound is the same energy as the sensations in the body. Any sound that is being perceived is aware of itself right here. Is part of the body. It's appearing within this placeless sphere of awareness. One with the sound and the sensation is the same thing, just consciousness. Again, be aware of any interpretations or lenses, or structures that we are attributing the sound to be. Just let the sound be as it is. Right here as one awareness. No distance and no delay. Now we're going to open the eyes and we're going to look around. Okay, let's do it. We'll see if that brings any of these thought structures back into our perception. And we see if we have a lingering sense of dissolution of boundaries. Now or a lingering sense of the no distance, and the one awareness that's aware of everything. So when we incorporate the sounds into if anyone's doing this with me, you probably notice that when there's no visual sense, when the eyes are closed, and when there's no thought structure holding the form of the body together, the sensations dissolve out with the boundaries of the body, and it tends to be like a kind of moving energy flow. And then we notice how much of this sensation is made by the mind. So, like for example, the hand with the eyes closed, if you focus like this for long enough, you'll see that this structure is a concept, an idea, was reinforced by the visual field initially. The sensations don't fit into this template. When we bring the sounds into it as well, we can notice that, or we can try and merge the hearing with the feeling into one sense. So essentially, we move out of the limits of the body and we become the sounds. We move out of the limits of the body and become the room. We are shifting our identification from this confined entity to the substance that makes up all of reality. I think this practice is quite helpful in showing us that this idea of a individual self and this idea of the subject-object distance dynamic can be seen through very easily with 10 minutes of meditation. You can keep going more and more deeply into this. You can go until the boundaries are completely dissolved and there's nothing that resembles a body here in space, in time. There's nothing that resembles a person hearing a sound out there. It's all just one shape-shifting soup of sensation. Entirely trippy experience without the need for any psychoactive substances. So that's just a little insight into these kind of meditation techniques. Maybe I'm not very good at explaining it, but there's tons of stuff out there to try, tons of resources on this that explain in great depth how to perceive this way. I'm in the cupboard today. Anyway, that'll do it.